Go ahead.
Okay. I'm Shazia Riyaz, and I am a PhD candidate from the University of Kashmir, Department of Zoology, and I am working under the supervision of Dr. A. Bohru. And today I'll be presenting my studies on the phenology of Himalayan wolf spider, Paradosa flavisterna, in the agroecosystems of Kashmir, India. This is a part of my PhD studies. First of all, a brief introduction to the study species, which is Paradosa flavisterna. It was first of all described by Caporiacco in the Baltistan area of Kashmir. Wait a second. Yeah. It was first of all described from Baltistan and Kashmir, and then later on Murusik reported it from the northern Himachal Pradesh between elevations of 1200 and 2600 meters. First of all, I would like to give a brief description, brief description about the species. Paradosa flavisterna can be distinguished from the other related species by the shape of the copulatory organ, especially the proportion of the epigyneal septum. This is the map of Kashmir showing the sampling sites. It is basically Kashmir is situated in the subtropical northern temperate region of Asia in northwestern Himalayas. Topographically, it's a deep elliptical bowl-shaped valley bound by the lofty mountains of the Pir Panjal range in south and southwest. Now, the material methods that we have used in the study. Collections were made using pitfall traps and manual searching methods at 24 agricultural field sites in Kashmir Valley. The carapace width measurements of all the field cats were taken each month, along with the abdominal width measurements of the adult females. The weather data was compared with the number of the cats, and the weather data was taken from the Division of Agronomy, University of Skost, Kashmir. Basically, the study is divided into two parts. That is the field study and the laboratory rearing. Here is the laboratory rearing portion. The pattern of the growth was analyzed by rearing the females from egg sac collected between 5th April and 3rd July. Paradosa flavisterna was reared from egg to maturity at the controlled lab conditions. Clutch size and developmental instars till adulthood were recorded. As a measure of body size, carapace width was measured of each instar using ocular micrometer, and all the measurements were taken in millimeters. Here are the objectives of the study. The main features included formulating the life cycle pattern of Paradosa flavisterna, estimating the clutch size, carapace width of each instar, population dynamics was worked out, the relationship between the number of the cats and the weather parameters was worked out. Here are the results. As you can see in the table, the juveniles were seen throughout the year, and the subadults were seen in the population from the month of July, and the male and the female were seen to mature in spring, and the female were seen to persist after the males have died. The breeding season started from the month of March, and the females were seen carrying egg sacs from the 5th of April. None of the individual was seen from the 2nd week of December. Here, the vertical line that you can see in the table it indicates overwintering. Here you can see in the figure male and female in the breeding season, and to the right you can see a female carrying the egg sac during the reproductive period. Here is the you can see the carapace width frequency distribution of monthly cats. Here I have indicated the different size classes by A2, B1 and B2. In the month of June and July, two size classes of juveniles can be seen. One is from the freshly hatched eggs and the other from the last year's 2nd egg sac. In the month of August, you can see a new size class has entered that I have designated by B2, as you can see in the frequency distribution graph, apart from the previous two size classes, which predicts the boring of the second egg sac. The boring of second egg sac can also be predicted by an interesting observation in which the abdominal width of the female during reproductive period shows an increase in the month of April, May, and June and July. And so does the number of catches of female in the pitfall traps. Their peak shows an overlap. This can be explained as females need to be more active for searching food during their egg development. Here you can see the frequency distribution of monthly catches in terms of juveniles, subadults, adult females, and males. A total of 1,919 individuals were caught. You can see from the bar chart that number of individuals in the sample increased initially as the temperature increased. But as the temperature is seen escalating more and seen to go up to 30 degrees centigrade, the number of the catches decreased. The number of the catches show an upsurge as the temperature decreased, but the catches reduced as the temperature decreased further. The number of the catches then declined to 0 in December, and then they undergo overwintering. Here you can see this table depicts the growth of spiderlings from first instar outside the egg sac to adulthood. Multiple comparisons of the different size classes were made, and there was significant difference was seen in the mean carapace width of all the instars. 26 females and 23 males were reared from the egg stage to the maturity in order to calculate the adult lifespan. The carapace width measurements from the newly hatched to the adult were taken to infer the growth rates. And it shows, as you can see, it shows the significant difference between different instar stages. Now, the conclusion of the study. From the study, we can conclude that the Paradosa flavisterna shows an annual biannual life cycle. The females produce 2 egg sacs. The individuals of the first brood overwinter as subadults, while the second brood overwinters as juveniles. The first brood matured in the upcoming spring, while as the second brood took 1 more year and shows a biannual life cycle after growing throughout the year. And all the males and the females took 8 instar stages to mature, with an exception of a few males that matured in 6th and 7th instar stage only. And the weather parameters show an impact on the number of the catches, with the temperature showing a positive correlation with the number of the individuals caught. And minimum of 2 cohorts were seen anytime during the year. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Shazia. You were so far under the time that we have plenty of time for questions. And so I'm going to go to the chat. But I'll ask a question while we're waiting for folks to go to the chat, which is, I wonder if you can tell us about what the crops are that are produced in the agroecosystems that you sample from.
Yeah. The agroecosystems include the orchard ecosystems, agroecosystems, the vegetable agroecosystems, and the crops that are grown here. Mainly, the staple crop of Kashmir is rice. It's widely grown in Kashmir. Okay. So major collections were made from orchards, apple orchards. Apple is again a major fruit grown over here. So orchards, I have made collections in orchards, vegetable agroecosystems, and rice and maize and other cropland agroecosystems.
And I wonder, as far as the catch that that is collected, you know, so the pitfalls, are they in sort of like refugia? So the style of agriculture here where I am in Maryland has a lot of, they'll often be floral strips or places for predators to sort of stay during the night or day, depending on their life cycle. So are they sort of out in the open, or do they typically, is there like hay or alfalfa that goes on the sort of ground, or how does that work?
No, little bit of basically the spiders have not been, there's not that much of awareness regarding the spiders, and to kind of preserve them under the hay, and so that they can find the shelter under the hay. But some of the conventional farmers know a little bit of that, and they try to conserve them under the hay, and they put those straw, like rice straw,
exactly.
So that they find shelter under that, they can reside there, and
and it's good for the ecosystem ultimately, and good for the farmers.
Yeah.
Okay, Shazia, you have a question from Michael Draney, which is, do you have any idea what is the advantage of being biannual rather than annual as usual, just because cold weather or so long development times? What's the advantage of biannual?
They don't have any advantage as such, but this is a major phenomenon in spiders, the splitting of cohorts. Some of the cohorts they take 1 year to mature, and some of them take 2 years, and so they follow a biannual life cycle, but they don't have an advantage as such, but it's mainly because of the temperature, or they retard their growth a major portion of the spiders retard their growth, and some of them grow faster, and they take 2 different routes. Actually, some of them mature in 1 year only, and some of them mature in 2 years.
A follow-up question from Annie Simpson is, let's see, some males mature in 7 versus 9 molts. So are there 2 size groups of adult males as a result? And do you have plans to study the relative reproductive success?
Basically, it is seen in spiders that they have size variations. Even the spiderlings from the same brood, they have size variations. I haven't studied yet about why it's occurring, why some males are like maturing in 6th stage, and some are taking like longer in stars, like 8 in stars to mature, but it is there.